This is the general control panel for the PD1000 IOX. You have your engine control, key switch, throttle. Press it up to increase the throttle, press it down to decrease the throttle, down to idle. Your general configurations are your stop jog button. When it's pushed in, all your functions become a jog function. So you have to press and hold each button for it to stay on. When you pull the stop jog button out, it becomes in automatic mode. When it's out, the only thing you need to do is press the shredder forwards button. The outfeed belt will come up, the shredder will turn on, and the infeed belt will start up. To unfold the conveyor, you need these two buttons. Conveyor down unfolds it down, conveyor up brings it back up to transport position. This unit cannot be transported without the conveyor being fully folded up. On the conveyor, there is a block here that has to be set in when the conveyor is folded down, and then there are eyelets here for strapping the conveyor down. Inside of the cabinet, you have your main battery, you have your hydraulic supply for folding and unfolding the conveyor, and then this is your PLC, and then all your circuit breakers for each function. This is also in the manual to detail what the functions are. You have an E-stop also right here. This E-stop will shut the engine down in all operations once it's pressed. When folding up the outfeed conveyor, here, I'm going to bring it up. There's a transport bracket that has to be put in when the conveyor is folded up. You want to jog the infeed belt till the cleat is just past this eyelet. Set the transport bracket in there, approximately centered, and then bring your conveyor down and make sure that it's centered in the bracket. You may have to adjust it a little bit and make sure it's locked down tight. Once this is locked down, then you can put a strap through these eyelets around and then lock the conveyor down. This is your main DEF tank for the engine. This holds about 5 gallons of DEF. Absolutely do not put any diesel fuel in here. You will void the warranty of the motor. Spare tire is located here. Then on the shredder itself, you have 2 Zerk fittings, 2 right here and 2 kitty corner on the other side. Each one of those Zerk fittings needs 6 squirts of grease every 8 hours of operation. That's what lubricates the main bearings inside of the shredder. On the shredder head itself, if there's ever an issue where you possibly may have broken a chain, first place to check is this access plate. You can remove this access plate. There's quarter 20 bolts. This comes off, and then you can actually directly inspect the drive chain and the drive motor. If there is an issue, then you can remove the main panel. If this panel is removed, there's a drain on the bottom. This has to be drained out because there's 5 gallons of oil in here. So that has to be drained before this can get pulled off. This is the main fuel tank. Holds approximately 50 gallons of fuel. It's got a fuel gauge on here, and then here's your main gas cap. You want to always make sure that when you're operating this machine, at the end of the day, clean this off. You don't want a lot of debris sitting here because it'll eventually come in through the vent on your fuel. Okay, this is the main hydraulic system for the unit. Starts out with a 75 gallon oil tank. your oil level is right here. This level should be approximately in the center between high and low. You never want to overfill this, and you don't want to operate it when it's at low. Next point is our cooler fan. This fan is on temperature sensors, so it starts and stops automatically depending on the temperature of the unit. Typically on one of these units, if you're having overheating problems, it's usually because this fan is plugged and needs to be blown out, or the circuit breaker for the fan tripped. Next thing in line here is our our hydraulic filter. This is removed. There's 4 bolts on the top. They remove the top cap, and you can pull the filter out, put a new one in, put it in, tighten the bolts back up. This is the main filler for the hydraulic system. And as we move down, these 2 valves are our main DG08 valves. These are what actually operate the shredder. There is a bypass on one side and a gauge on the other side of both valves. If we're ever in a problem where one shaft isn't turning on a shredder, or there's a hydraulic issue, we can diagnose a lot of this with what you're getting for a reading on these main pressure valves. Moving down below the valves, we have 2 pressure switches. And these are what control the auto reverse pressure for the shredder. Then we go to our main sump valve. This is just the main valve that comes out of the tank that goes to the pump. This should always remain open. The only reason to ever close this valve is if you're doing work on the pump. Next thing in line is this valve body right here. This valve body is what operates both of the infeed and the outfeed conveyors. As we move down, then we go to our pump. We have 2 main sump lines on the pump, one for the piggyback, one for the main pump. The main pump on here has 2 number 16-inch line, or 16 lines that come off that go to the individual valves. Those operate the shredder. And then there's a single number 8 line that comes off. That goes to the center valve, and that's what operates the conveyors. And the last thing you have a 140 horsepower John Deere engine. There's keys in the toolbox to take these panels off. To check the oil is on this side. The fuel filters are on the other side. And the last thing is our toolbox. Our toolbox contains a grease gun, a crescent wrench, and then also a large wrench for doing the take-ups on the conveyors, for adjusting them.